Hey, if you're a man over 40 who wants to look sharper, feel lighter, and live stronger by Christmas, yeah, just around the corner, baby, we got a simple routine that stacks smart grooming, bulletproof gut health, and growth-focused training. And guess what, nation? It all starts right now, live on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirreling.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
To be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That's
doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. Hey, there's that signature sound to kick off your morning, nation. What a shake, and good morning, nation. Good morning. You're tuned into Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, baby. Boom, boom. That's right. The live morning show that mixes real talk, motivating content, and entertaining conversation for the everyday business dude or dudette. Depends on what hey, we welcome all genders here. True story. Hey, coffee up, shoulders back, morning mindset. I'm where your daily accountability partner. This morning's playbook is loaded, baby. Hey, before we get started, I invite you to hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment so we know you're here. I know you're out there in the community there, nation. We got the vertical channel, the horizontal channel, rocking and rolling. Hey, listen, so YouTube merged their stuff, Melissa. I woke up this morning, producer Jimmy and Neiman, I saw they merged their shit. Oops, sorry, guys. This is an R-rated show, so I'm going to drop some bombs along the way. Yep, sorry. If you got the kids in, put the headphones in. Like, what the fuck, man? They took the horizontal stream and they cropped it. Broadcast show here. Like a professional experience. I'm not into cropping angles here and crop. One of the biggest streaming provider, the biggest streaming provider on the planet, and that's what you do. You decide to take my horizontal feed and crop it. Honest to motherfucking God. So, you guys want to have a real live, true experience of a professionally streamed experience, horizontal, vertical? Yeah, come hang out with us on the Mornings in the Lab live network like myself, Matt Roof, Kindness Rising. None of this fucking crop bullshit that YouTube's offering. Maybe they'll change it up, but I was largely disappointed when I saw what they were dropping. Hey, That gives you a tone of the kind of attitude we bring to the show here today. Hey, guys, if you hit the snooze button, I can tell Bjorn Hagemann did not hit the snooze button today. I see him down there in the green room, down in the vertical room. Hey, Melissa, the guy read the instructions. Holy smokeroonies, the guy read the instructions. I'm telling you, nation, not everybody can read the instructions. We send them out to every single guest, and as we experienced earlier on this week, apparently the instructions were wrong because the guy couldn't get in the room. But Bjorn, hey, Bjorn, you need to give lessons to my previous guests that are like, hey, Billis, I'm like, yeah, your instructions suck. No, they don't. Actually, they work. Ask Bjorn. They work just fine. Yeah, so Bjorn's an introvert. We're going to leave him in the room the whole show. Yeah, true story. We're going to leave the introvert over there, and we're going to talk like he's just over there. So we're going to talk introvert to introvert, myself and Bjorn along the way. Good times coming up here at the bottom of the hour here on Mornings in the Lab. Coming up, guys, 10 best shower thoughts this week. Yes, I am going to go there with Jon Andersen. Yep, true story. It's going to be ridiculous, and I suspect might be fun. And I'm asking you, what random thoughts came into your head when you were in the shower this week? Guys, the head on your shoulders. Come on. Nation, come on, get your head out of the gutter. Let's look at some of the current conversations happening around the world today. We got a bunch coming up here today we're going to throw on the table. Plus, Bjorn Hagemann, former German military sergeant, breaks down why quiet leaders build the strongest teams. Yeah, I know, true story. No chest thumping, only composure, clarity, and consistency. Deep dive, we're going to talk about grooming, gut health, and growth, the new triple threat that men can take care of, which is, hey, John talks about it all the time, man. It all starts in our gut. We're going to have a chat about that coming up later on in the show here. Also coming up, guys, Morning Loop Reloaded. Have you ever hit reply all? You know, you get so frantically to send an email back and you hit reply all. Well, according to producer Neiman, she's like, no, I have never done that. I'm like, what, really? True story? Come on. I think everybody's hit the reply. Hey, Bjorn, have you ever hit reply all? And you're like, holy shit. I just sent this note to the entire planet. The whole fucking organization knows my secrets. I'm sure some of us have had. We're going to talk about that coming up here today and maybe give you some advice on how to walk yourself back out of that mistake. Maybe it's as simple as replying all back to everybody saying, yeah, I just fucked up. I just sent you all my passwords. Speaking of passwords, hey, if you guys want to log into the Louvre, one of the most sophisticated museums on the planet, their password's Louvre. Yeah, another true story. Actually, another true motherfucking story. Louvre. Yeah, if you want to get into their Wi-Fi, just use Louvre and you get in just fine. Speaking of passwords, how many of you mofos out there have just the basic passwords? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or just password? Yes. It's incredible when you hear about these big, crazy situations like the heist over in Paris with the Louvre that you break down that they essentially left the doors unlocked to the building. And then, yeah, we're at the bottom of the second hour, guys. 4 crisp lessons for surviving viral hate. We leaned into a little bit yesterday. We're going to come back to it again today. How to protect your mindset, keep your kindness, and refuse to let the outrage take over. Community Corner, Maya Reyes is coming in with some content from YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack, and on deck. Why mornings feel anxious. I wasn't anxious today. Boom, I popped out of bed, ready to get up, get after it. And then I saw my extremely, incredibly awesome, loving wife on the other side of the room here, training hard, working out. I'm like, oh, Lauren's in the community. I'm like, oh, what are we doing after work today? Are we living longer? Boom, boom. Why morning routines are still the cheat code for life, guys. That's it. Get up, get after it, and rock and roll. And hey, you guys can join the show in the second hour. Going to open the phone lines up. That's when John Petrocelli is going to join as well. I suspect the doctor's going to be in the house bottom of the second hour. 431-300-3005. Phone lines will be open. 431-300-3005. But before we do that, nation, hey, Jimmy, the morning loop, baby. It starts right now.
Welcome back to the lab, Business Athlete Nation. Coffee ready? We've got quick sparks to kickstart your Friday. Quick question. What one-liner resets your mood? 10 shower thoughts today. Perfect for coffee chats and stand-ups. Keith, John, crew, let's get this show started.
All right, guys. So, hey, nation, let's all check our clocks right now. I think we're going to put a clock on Andersen now. I think he's still in the dumper. Let's check the phone. I noticed that he's be getting Neiman. He's getting a little later every single day here. I'm like, Johnny, it's the 8 to 10 minute mark after the hour, not the 12 to 15. So I'm sure the water is running up the back end right now, just cleaning it up. Yeah, I'm just sure. True story. Hey guys, so I found something here that I'm gonna put on the table here today. You guys like to drink Coke? You guys Coke drinkers? I like the Coke Zero. I don't mind the. I gotta be honest. I'm still puzzled by somebody who still crush a can of Coke with sugar in it. I just am. I know we all have our vices. Cannabis. I know we got vices. We all enjoy our vices along the way. But just still, with all the knowledge that we have, and I guess drinking the Zero might not be any better. But just a full morning, Jay Ingram. What's going on, Jay? On the X side of things, what's shaking, brother? Good to have you on the show here today. It makes me curious why we still we know that if we got rid of the liquid, there's a big can of white sugar in there. But anyways, Coca-Cola released a 60-second, yeah, not 60 60-second AI generated remake of its 1995 Holidays Are Coming ad. And it's interesting because it was completely AI generated. Well, it was measured 32% negative sentiment versus 10% positive, worse than pre-campaign levels. Well, so what's the point of this whole thing? Well, maybe people just aren't liking the AI generated ads. Some of the critics are calling it, oh, hey, Neiman, the proverbial they. Well, they're all saying that it lacks soul. They're all saying that it looks cheap. I'm still looking for the they, Johnny. What's going on, bro? Oh, nation, look at Johnny's blue hat today. We have not seen the blue hat.
Yeah, we've seen the blue hat plenty of times. Weirdo.
Really? Fuck, I don't know if I remember the blue hat.
Anytime there's blue on my shirt, I wear the blue hat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what it is. I've noticed it's a new shirt.
It's not new. It's a blue shirt.
Okay. 0 for 2.
You're piecing it together, babe.
I'm 0 for 2. Hey, I was worried, man, because we're having a conversation about shower thoughts this morning, and I was looking for my shower thought partner.
Well, that's why I was almost didn't show up because I could feel that coming. a little fucking weirdo.
Hey, just a heads up for you. We got Bjorn Hagemann joining us on the show here today. Former military dude. Looking forward to having him in. When we run the opener, just so you know, when we run the opener, you got about a 90-second pee break if you want to go sneak away here for Sophia Grant's opener. She's got an awesome opener to introduce Bjorn this morning on the show here. So, brother, how was your last 22 hours, man? When did you get up and get after? What did you do yesterday?
Oh, man, yesterday was a barn burner, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was, goodness, it was one of those days. So one of my developers basically said, hey, I got a slot of time that's open. It was in the morning, and, my day is scheduled, but
I know, yeah.
The stuff that we're doing is like top priority. So I totally just like maneuvered my day and just, holy shit, it was tight.
Just pulling levers, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I was just moving shit to where I could just barely get from here to there, and anyway, it was a hell. I mean, I just crushed all day, and then nasty workout because I take my workout and condense it by about 30%. So I got my workload in, but less time. So I was less breaks, breathing harder, pickleball.
Oh yeah.
Then the gym with Terry. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. Yesterday was one of those days that it would have been a tough day if it wasn't extra condensed, we've talked about this loosely. I don't know if I've shared enough of it with you to maybe kind of lean into this a little bit, but I really lean into the world of pulling levers. And you strike me that what your day was yesterday. I enjoy pulling levers. So let me kind of talk about that. So when you get in a canoe, you got to row on both sides to go straight. If you just roll on one side, you're going to go fucking crooked, right? You're not going to get to your straight direction. We talk often with folks about balance in life, and we both know there's no such thing as balance in life. If you're gonna be, the greatest strongman or bodybuilder or hockey player, whatever, the greatest at your discipline in the world, you're doing stuff that others simply aren't doing. And to do that, I believe it's not about balance; it's about pulling levers. I love pulling levers, Johnny, which is it sounds like your day yesterday, which was all of a sudden I come at you, using an example, I come at you something and you're like, holy fuck, I was planning on rolling this way to go this way, but Billis needs me to do this. So you quickly go boom, 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 boom. You roll this way. but you're still going straight, and then constantly back and forth, you're fucking pulling levers. Just like if you're driving like a backhoe, or like one of those things where you not the steering wheel. Dude, I love that. And I think that's what often most people, in my opinion anyways, get all wrong with trying to grow something. Go back to building your body in the gym. You're in the gym building your body and you're noticing that something's not growing. You're going to pull a lever here to put a little more emphasis on this part of the body. You know what I'm trying to say, John? So I love the lever rolling a canoe mentality to grow something, because when you get into it, you're just fucking going boom, boom, pulling levers, and you're going straight the whole way.
Dude, yesterday I was I was doing that and just knowing that I was, going. And I knew today was going to be like, because I looked at today.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, it's a day with a little more time involved. There's a few things that I can move that are not terribly time sensitive. So I can burn a candle hard today, knowing that I can catch up tomorrow.
Yes. I love the idea of pulling levers. Thursdays are actually pretty good for me because Brookie has a class dance Thursday night. So I basically go hard from end of show till bedtime. Like, so, because Lauren and the house is empty, it's just me and the dogs. So I break for like dinner, and I go from the end of our show till 9 o'clock yesterday. I love those kind of days, man. It's like I get into my canoe, I get into like a flow state, and I just paddle. And I went to bed last night on time, got up this morning. Johnny woke up like this, boom, just eyes open, beat my alarm, jumped out of bed, got all my shit done in the gym this morning. Like, I feel like I'm ahead right now.
Yeah, it feels good. Feels good when you have one of those. And I'm kind of teetering on trying to get recharged.
I can tell. I can tell you're a little bit on
yesterday. I'm gonna be working on getting. This is normally, now that we're in November, this is where I normally start my normal recharging process. My life cycle is usually by after the New Year's is over, I've spooled myself back up to fucking high RPM.
Yes.
And I just go all the way until the late fall, or November is usually when I start to feel it. But with this year, I felt that it's 6 weeks early,
Oh yeah.
It's normally by November. It's just that's just the life cycle. And I knew that I had another 6 weeks to go. So I had to burn it down a little tighter, this year. And so on a day like yesterday, I realized, okay, shit, you're giving back some of your recharge that you've been working to create, but that's okay. That's just the way it works.
Maybe one of the things we can talk a little bit more here on the show in the coming days and weeks, and encouraging others to think this way, is think in the way of maybe thinking in seasons, like an athlete thinks, right? Where you have an off season, an on season, you train on, you train off. I got to think you live your life a little bit like seasons, I'm suspecting, right? Where you have an off season.
I have a season that starts for the second week of January, and it's high throttle until the first week of November.
Yeah, well, but that's okay. That's what I mean, though. Yeah. It's just it's a defined time, right? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes there's value in that, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to go for whether it's, and again, I'm not suggesting it's like a 75-day hard or 90-day hard. It's just thinking perhaps in seasons and inviting recovery, because like you're saying, you come to November, Thanksgiving time, you're dialing it back a little bit to regroup for that January relaunch, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And it works really well for me because I can be, as we talk about balance, right? Mm-hmm. Those holidays is where there's just more emphasis on family.
Yes.
Right. There's more time with family spent and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually perfect when I'm starting my recharging process. And in November, here comes the time where I'm tired enough. And I don't mean tired in a bad way. Tired, like feels good to lay down to go to bed at night type. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm bitching. This is just what, for me personally, I'm better in terms of being intentional with my family time when I'm fucking tired.
Oh yeah. So you can sneak sleeps on the couch.
Well, I'm just like, it's like normally if like we're sitting down, if everybody wants to watch a movie, I might be thinking about something that, if it's fucking July, I'm thinking about something that I'm working on or blah, blah, blah. Now I'm very welcoming at that time. So it's just easier. So that's kind of how my life cycle developed.
Speaking of family, Cart's made it home last night. He's home for a few days. He got a little break in the schedule. So he He had a 6-hour drive home yesterday, turned into a 10-hour drive. He had, I guess there was an accident on the road. There was bad weather, detours. So
Shit.
I'm working yesterday. I'm like, dude, where the fuck are you? He's like, long story. So I call him. And actually, it was like a 12-hour ride. He pulls into he stopped by the house for a quick little hug, and then he went home. But it's nice to see the man. Nice to see the man. He's home for a few days.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys,
at that age, dude, you can pretty do what you want to do.
Dude, 100%. We know it. Absolutely. Hey, coming up, guys, in about 7 minutes or so, we got a guest, Johnny, who spent 10 years as a sergeant in the German armed forces leading troops. I think you're going to appreciate this because something that I know you grew up with your stepdad. Not by barking orders, but by showing up with calm presence and genuine empathy. And I can see you nodding because I know since I met you those first few days, you taught me more about you. And those first few moments, I learned a lot about you through the way you were raised. I'm like, okay, that says a lot. So we got Bjorn Hagemann joining us. He was the quiet guy in a loud environment who figured out that real leadership isn't about authority. It's about authenticity. We're going to get that conversation coming up about 6 or 7 minutes ago, just at the bottom of the hour with Bjorn Hagemann. Hey, Jimmy, you got that Coke video running? Let's just have a quick little snippet of that Coke video for Keith and Johnny to see an off little comment on it. So they dropped this yesterday.
That's what you were talking about when I came in.
Yeah. They dropped it yesterday, and I guess the world is pissed off because it's AI generated. I'm like, come on, really? It's just the reality of what the world is now. So, but there's
why is the world pissed off about that? Though?
Well, because I guess. Quick look. I haven't even watched it, so I'm seeing it right now for the first time. All right, Jimmy, let's kill it. Yeah, so there you go.
It's like watching a fucking Christmas movie.
I agree with you.
It's like somebody pissed off that they went to an animated Christmas movie.
Yeah. So why people are pissed off about it? Maybe because they had nothing else to be pissed. Maybe because people don't have jobs. Maybe because the airplanes are shut down today across your country.
Maybe
I don't know.
They just need something to bitch about.
I was just gonna say because they need something to bitch about, right? It's
Jesus Christ.
I got to be honest. As I'm looking for stuff for us to throw on the table for us to have some fun with. There's
What's
some
going on with the airplanes?
What's that?
You said the airplanes are all shut down. What's going on?
Well, so because of the government shutdown, they've canceled a bunch of flights here out of major airports in America here today. So there's a bunch of flights there's a bunch of people in big airports. There's a bunch of people in big markets in the U.S. that aren't able to travel today because of the government shutdown and because there's no money to pay.
This has been the longest one.
Yeah.
This one has got to be way longer than the longest prior.
Oh yeah, I think what are we at 40 days or something now? It's a long fucking time. It's just people. It's what it is. It's a big dick contest right now. True story. That's exactly Laura and I were laughing with because literally a big dick contest because you have some guys that wear blue underwear in Washington and you got guys that wear red underwear in Washington. They're all standing there going, "My dick is bigger." The guys, "No, I'm not pulling my notes yet. I've been here for 70 years. I'm not going to pull my notes yet." And I know I'm oversimplifying, but that's really what all it comes down to. These guys are just and then everybody's fucking suffering because of it. Crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, the crazy part is that that's how it appears.
Yes,
they belong to the same fucking country clubs.
Yes. And then how about this? Here's something too. Neiman Sor, I didn't throw this into you this morning, but Musk approved for his $1 trillion pay package.
What is this?
Yeah. So again, people are pissed off because Elon has been approved to get his $1 trillion pay package. So he got the board yesterday approved that as part of Tesla now. If they hit their goals, he will make $1 trillion. Now
he's done that the whole time. This is just a bigger number.
Yeah, but I'm bringing it up because a lot of people pissed off. And like Kathy Ark from Ark Investment, she's like, "Why are you all pissed off? If he makes money,
numbers, you know how much stockholders are going to make if he hits that number?"
Well, that's her point. She's like, "Why are y'all pissed off? Because if he makes money, we all make money."
It's like saying Tom Brady's going to get a $50 million bonus if he wins the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah,
well, it's because he had to fucking win the Super Bowl.
Here is a striking piece of contrast, though, that I know you can appreciate because you're a well-educated man. It's not lost upon me, though, just saying it out loud, that within 24 hours, on one side of the spectrum, you have a guy who's going to be the highest paid human being on the planet, a $1 trillion salary, okay? And then we know that one of the wealthiest cities on the planet is New York City. who's now being led by a socialist who wants to tax guys like Elon Musk and his $1 trillion packages. So just think of this for a second. So on one side of the coin, you got the celebration because one guy's making $1 trillion. And then on the other side of the coin, you got the other side going, wait a minute, we want 2% of his trillion so we can give everybody free bus rides in New York City. I'm telling you, man, there's a big battle coming in the future down the road, I'm suspecting.
Dude, there's a lot of fucking right now.
The gaps
in our
are
world,
crazy.
There
Man.
are more moving pieces right now. Holy shit.
Well, again, you and I talk, we're the same age. We've witnessed it, man, and we're seeing it happen right now. To your point, the moving pieces, like something happens over here and it happens over there. And
when they do this weird shit, because it's like
shit.
Something over here is happening
Yes.
that's big, and then they do
Yes.
something over here that nobody pays attention to. You know,
Yes.
check this out. They just reclassified silver. It's like it was a talk before. I believe the paperwork is done now. Whatever they have to file or whatever they have to stamp, whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Yeah.
It's now a something mineral, precious mineral.
Okay.
Like it's got a new classification, meaning that it's scarce.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay.
Well, which means that the governments have this ability to buy it and not tell anyone.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Man. Yeah. So, but my point is that all of these things are happening so that this massive shift of wealth can happen with nobody noticing.
Yes.
As we get all fucking bent out of shape about Coke commercials and fucking Elon Musk and all this shit, when all of the fucking chess pieces are being played, being set up for a fucking checkmate.
Oh, it's definitely signal
that
noise.
Really have the information.
It's
unbelievable.
It's definitely signal noise stuff, and I don't want to get into. I certainly don't want to get into crazy conspiracy type conversations. Not first thing in the morning on a light morning show with Keith and John here. Especially we're going to have crazy conversations. However, to cancel everything out, it's certainly I read enough and pay attention to enough to be curious, and I'll leave that there. You're like, signal noise. I know how illusions work. I know how magic works, and so do you. I know how you go get everybody looking over there when you go do something over there. I know how that works.
I mean, from the beginning of time, this shit has happened. Yeah. This is not new.
Oh shit, no. Hey, speaking of not new,
it's just easier for them to do because they have this media now that can fucking hit everybody in seconds.
Absolutely. Hey, coming up in a couple minutes, we got Bjorn Hagemann joining us. But hey, Johnny, in the no shit Sherlock department for news today, I was super excited to share this one. I expect not much commentary from you and I on this one, except this, because we've both been around long enough to know. No shit. Coventry University researchers report that, hold on, guys, ears up. High intensity resistance can sharpen focus, working memory, and self-control after exercise.
What was it? What?
Working out.
Oh, fuck.
I know. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Sorry, Petro. Sometimes these scientists, like, here's the thing. They found 42 humans. It's like saying, hey, John, let's go find 40 guys in the gym. Let's do a study. Let's do a fucking big research. Let's do a paper on it. Let's publicize it. And let's make a big deal about it, saying that if 40 people do this, of course.
And you know how easy it would be to steal a 40 fucking person, study?
I put it out here because I get tired of some of this shit sometimes, man. I really, but in the same breath, I pull it on here because it's conversational content for us to communicate about here on the show. But it really is a no shit Sherlock situation. Because the randomized study tracked 42 active adults that did high intensity resistance exercise.
That's really good. It was 42, so that makes it much better.
Oh yeah, instead of 41 or 55, honest to God. And then they talk about the high intensity training produced stronger gains. No shit. Than moderate exercise. No shit.
It's unbelievable.
It just continues to remind me sometimes of how low the bar is set for most of everybody, right?
100%.
So,
that's why it's so important. Like you said something a little bit ago about how, like when we started doing our thing, you learned something from me. Well, I came here because I knew I was going to learn something from you too.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what's missed is that people are not seeking.
No, because you know what happens.
You know what they're doing? They're seeking they're seeking the easiest way to go through shit. So it's crazy. Some people hear this study and they're actually hearing this for the first time.
Well, because what happens, and we both know this, and this is where I get frustrated, is that we all get into a tunnel, and then we all find the same people in the same tunnel, and then we all perpetuate the same stuff in the tunnel so that we can all hear the same thing, right? And then it's like, okay, I'm going to go to X, and I'm going to find all the same people that have all the same beliefs as me, and we're all going to capitulate. But I'm not going to what? But the moment that somebody comes in and says that they challenge what Mr. Bellis and Mr. Andersen has to say, we got to kick him out of the conversation. That to me is what's fucked. Right. So that's why I keep saying I want to have every view on here. And one of the best things that Petro taught me, good morning, John. I see your comments out there. He's like, ask for evidence.
Yeah.
So somebody said, like, ask for evidence. Like, it's okay to ask for evidence. Yeah, good question.
And sometimes, just ask questions. I mean, because a lot of times you don't even have, if you say to somebody, give me some evidence.
Yeah.
People can take that in sort of an aggressive way. Just ask a question.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, tell me about these 42 people.
Very
Different. Very different. I mean, so many times when someone happens here on the show all the time, someone will come in and ask for a piece of advice. Fuck, I don't know how to answer that. I ask a question.
You're good at it. Yes.
If they're in front of me, I'd probably ask 10 questions because I need to be able to frame this enough to be able to suggest something that is actually fucking worth something.
Curiosity seems like it's a lost art. Anyways, all right, Johnny, listen, we're going to bring out Bjorn Hagemann in here. So listen, we got a 90-minute transition here. So if you want to step away for a quick little break, I invite you to do that. Jimmy, here goes the hook, man. Today's guest, he spent 10 years as a sergeant in the German Armed Forces. I'm excited about this conversation coming up. Leading troops, but not by barking orders, which is we all thought the military is bark, 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 bark. But by showing up with calm presence and a genuine empathy.
Your team needs calm, not theatrics. You know you can lead it, and you will not shout to prove it. Today, we're talking with someone who turns that quiet into real authority you can feel in the room. Bjorn Hagemann is a business psychologist, certified in the PERMA Leadership Framework, founder and mentor at Unbestechlich Du. He served 10 years as a sergeant in the German Armed Forces, leading under pressure as an introvert. He built Unbestechlich Du, a thriving community for introverted business owners and leaders. He is certified in the PERMA Leadership Framework and a keynote voice on self-leadership and quiet leadership. He hosts the Unbestechlich Du podcast, turning real moments into grounded lessons you can live by. He works with introverted entrepreneurs and leaders who want human-centered cultures and teams that breathe. After leaving the Bundeswehr, the rank came off and the identity did too. So he rebuilt the person before the title. His biggest win this year is marriage. Proof that quiet strength begins at home. Leadership does not start with others. It starts with you. Identity first, then performance. Calm, clear, and true. Bjorn, welcome to Mornings in the Lab. We're excited to have you here.
Oh yeah. Today we got Bjorn Hagemann in the lab. He's the founder of a German company, won't attempt to pronounce, but it translates to Unshaken You. What's going on, Bjorn?
How are you, brother? Ears in there.
Hey guys.
How are you, pal?
I'm fine, thanks.
Super excited to have you on the show here today, man. Super excited to welcome you in. Are you joining us from Germany today?
Yes. Nice.
What time is it there? What is it, like 2 o'clock?
It's 2:30 now.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks for coming by, man. Super excited to have you here today. I thoroughly enjoy your content on LinkedIn, and I thoroughly enjoy what you put out there. And I'm eager to get into a chat with you today about your experience in the military and about what you're building today. And I love the comment with the last year of your life, being married, eh?
Yeah.
Talk about that, man.
So the funny thing is that my now wife was my first client. So,
interesting.
So I stepped out there being an entrepreneur, and the first thing that everybody told me is, Bjorn, you've been a sergeant in the military, so you studied business psychology, so you're a coach, and now you have to do leadership training, right? So I stepped out there and said, okay, hey, I've seen what's going wrong, and now I tell you what's better. But it didn't feel that good because I stepped into the game of shouting out what we need to do, and that always for me didn't feel good. But I finally found Katrin, my wife now, and it wasn't that she needed to learn how to lead with voice and all that stuff, but to get the confidence and the security in herself to do the things that she felt were right in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Like leading with empathy and telling people why it's important and all that stuff. And then we checked in with each other a little more, and then everything fell just in part as it should be, I think.
You strike. So, you publicly speak about you being an introvert, and
Yes.
you're using that to your advantage, and I admire that. Yet you pursued a career in the military, which
Yes.
I think, John, you would agree with me, seems like an opposite situation, right? Which is like, okay, wait a minute, what's the introvert doing in the military? Like, what made you join, and what was it like leading as the quiet guy in a culture that I got to think values loudness?
Yes, it does. And it's always brought me to places where I needed to ask myself what I should do. And
questions. I love it. Questions to yourself are powerful.
Yeah, it's always. I think most of life is about questioning ourselves.
Yes.
Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the thing that are coming out of my heart? And am I doing the things that feel right with my value system? Right. So it wasn't that easy in the military, but I think when we see what people can reach with our lead, that is the real value. And I had some discussions with my bosses, and they wanted me to be louder. But I said, hey, what's the purpose here? Are we into being that drill sergeant, from all the films, or is it more important that our people reach something that they?
Yeah, but are you asking what do you want me to deliver here? If you want me to deliver X, I think I can do it better this way.
Yes, it is. And I asked him exactly that. Do you want me to deliver the picture of that drill sergeant shouting all the time? Or do you want me to deliver results for our people?
Yes.
Do you want our soldiers to be good soldiers? And then he had to say, okay, the main purpose is to have good soldiers. So
there's a quick comparison, not soldiers. I was coaching a bunch of young men, and they were football players. And so basically the coach that hired me said, look, this is what I need you to deliver. I need you to bring these kids to me, strong and tough. And I'm like, the time frame you've given me, I don't know that I can do both, but I can deliver them tough. And if they're tough, you're going to get more of what you want. And so I was able to just kind of hyper focus on one thing, make them tough, develop them mentally, because there was what he was asking me to deliver was really not possible that I felt. And once he saw what I was saying, he's like, yeah, let's do it. And it worked out to be a perfect thing. Because obviously you as a leader, you're recognizing what you've got to do and what's the best way to deliver it.
Yes, true. And being the tough guy isn't always the good way,
Yeah, 100%. As the leader, that's what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need also we need to be the tough guy when it needs to be, right? I can't lead a shooting when I'm soft. So then I have to shout. Then I have to be clear, and I have to be on point. But when we bring people to learn something, then I think vulnerability is something that is way more important. to understand people where they're standing and to bring them where we want them to be.
As I'm listening to you both speak, it strikes me that is what you're talking about, Bjorn and John, maybe meeting in the middle of defining Stoicism. Like Bjorn, is that how you would interpret perhaps how you took the military loud training, took your introverted characters, perhaps took some of the values of Stoicism? Would I be fair to maybe speak about this, put it into a blender, and you adopted it in a way for you to lead? Would that be fair for me to assume, or am I oversimplifying it, Bjorn?
That's a good question. I think we can find some good things in Stoicism to bring in here.
Yes.
But I think my way is more the spiritual way.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, a little deeper even. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Buddha said some good things that we can take in all places of the world, and even in leadership. It's more about being strong and soft in balance, and in Hinduism, they say that I think Vishnu just get to his full power as he allowed himself to be in his male forces in balance, right? So I think the balance between the both is something that really brings us to full power.
Interesting.
I would say I'd so agree, brother, because there's so many elements of getting a person to perform at the highest level.
Yes.
And if you corner it or you put it to a single dimension, of being able to run and do push-ups and pull-ups, you're really missing some of the most powerful shit that a person possesses.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bjorn, we talk with plenty of leaders on this show about transformation, transitioning. I've gone through it. Johnny's gone through it. And so have you. And you went through a transition when you went through from the military, which is a very identity-focused career.
Yes, it is.
Here's your label. Here's your identity. Here's your rank. Here's what you are. Then you left. And I looked at my notes on you, and you talked about how you lost yourself.
Yes.
Let's turn it around. How did you know when you found the real Bjorn?
Yeah. So there were two situations that get me some insights on that. When I was still a soldier, I walked through our city, and on Saturdays that's pretty crowdy, right?
Okay.
And I just walked through the crowd, and when I reached the other side of the long road, then I realized, okay, were all the people going away so that I can just go straight through there? And I made the test and went back, and it was like so, like Moses on the sea, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I left military and started my studies in business psychology, I did that again, and I went there through all the people, and I had to go left and right and all that stuff. So there was something missing, right?
You had no status. Your status was gone. We talked about it last week on the show. John and I talked when you're a bartender and you're behind the bar and everybody wants a drink from you, you have status because you're like, I'm the bartender. But the moment after the bar closes and you're walking down the street and nobody knows who Bjorn is, your status is gone, nobody departs. And this is fascinating because when you're the guy in the military, you walk through like Moses. Then you walk through a few years later without your uniform on, and all of a sudden you weren't fucking Moses anymore.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that this identity more works on yourself than on other people.
Yes.
Because I've walked through the street without uniform. So they didn't split because of the uniform, just because of my, let's say, my aura or whatever we want to tell it. Right? Mm-hmm. But I lost myself. I lost my identity. So I didn't have the standing myself. And so I needed to go through the people. And then after finalizing the studies, it cost me, I think, 2 more years to really accept that I'm now a business psychologist, not a soldier anymore, and that I need to figure out who I am then. And then all the things came to me. So some clients came to me who were introverted. So I figured out, okay, there's something that I can give people. And that's, like you said, being an introvert in all that harsh environment helped me now to figure out what people need to do that their own, to lead from identity, not from performance.
Hanging out with
I love
Keith
that.
John and our guest Bjorn Hagemann, all the way from Germany, the unmistakably you, former introverted German military leader. I think he's still introverted, although it doesn't strike me as very introverted here today. He's having a great conversation with Bjorn here today. Johnny?
You know, real quick, I just want to say I love what you're talking about, identity, brother, because people miss this. You know, your identity is kind of what creates your standards. Your standards is how you perform, and your goals are only going to match your standards. I mean, excuse me, you're only going to achieve the goals that match your standards. If your standards are too low because your identity is skewed, that big goal is just going to stay floating out there.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
And people tend to look at that the wrong way. They set this big goal, but they're not starting at the beginning. You know,
They don't adjust the standards to get there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, and my standards are basically set by my identity. Okay. So let's work on the identity, which then raises the standards, which then gives me the ability to get that lofty goal.
Yeah. And I think we need to ask ourselves, maybe what's blocking myself inside of me that's blocking my outer success, right? When I'm not able to reach the goal I want to reach, then I have to ask myself, is the goal even inside? Is it possible to reach it? Or do I don't believe myself that I can reach it? So I have to work on my identity first.
Oh, that's so good, man. This is so good. Hey, Bjorn, loneliness and being alone are two very different things.
Yes.
Yet you talk about feeling lonely in leadership, especially as an introvert. Let's talk about this for a little bit, because you know, I know there are times when I go through growing the business, there's that feeling of loneliness, even though it's not loneliness how I think sometimes people would define loneliness. But let's talk about when you have been on your journey, when that loneliness hit the hardest for you, not about being alone, but loneliness, and how you worked through it. Because there's guys tuning in right now and are in this situation going, I how do I get out of this? And believe me, men don't have friends, men don't talk to each other. So, you know, this idea of being alone and loneliness, talk about this, Bjorn.
I think what really sticks out is being alone is something we prefer as introverts, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, because that's because mostly we're very sensitive to dopamine. So being in a big crowd brings very much dopamine out in us. So we're depleted after some time. So we prefer being alone at home or with a few friends instead of being at a party, not because we're not able to stand the party, but we know that our social battery is low after a short time.
Yes.
So that's the thing. We prefer being alone or with some friends. But you can be lonely between all the people you're around. So being lonely is the feeling of I don't belong here. So, and there's a big difference between fitting in and belonging, right?
Yes.
We all fit in somewhere, but doesn't mean that we belong there. So we can be around many people and feel very lonely because we don't belong there.
We see that all the time. Isn't that,
Yeah.
isn't that the truth?
That is the truth, Johnny, isn't it?
It is. And so we need some kind of belonging. So that's some psychological thing, right? We as a human, we need to belong somewhere. So that's why all the brands are doing such a good job. That's why Harley says you're buying a lifestyle from us. That's expensive, but hey, you get a bike for free with that. So that's because they create identity and they create belonging, and that's what we need. All people need belonging, and how to get out of the loneliness is to accept that I'm lonely at first.
Yeah.
So I need to be aware that not something is wrong with me, but something is wrong with my surroundings, that I'm around people that I don't belong to. So that's the first thing. And then I can really work on that and get into it and find out what blocks me, to make a step forward, find new people.
It's taken me a long time in my whole life to accept my introvertness. And I know to many watching the show think he's an introvert. No, I am. Like I when this show's over, I'm happy to go into my quiet space to regulate my dopamine, be around myself and my dogs and my small team. I love that. Right. So it's but I still struggle with it to this day, Bjorn, sometimes when and I say to myself, I shouldn't be an introvert. You should be an extrovert because that's what they want you to be. I'm like, well, no, hold on. It's that should part. It's that battling the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because society just keeps rewarding the loud. So most introverts feel wrong when we look at ourselves, because we get the feeling that we have to be loud to stand society. But we have that gifts that we can bring to the table, and that's why leadership is something that is really made for introverts, because we create this space where people can open up pretty easy, right? I think most of the introverts know that situation where you stand in front of someone you just got to know on that moment, and then he talks about his deepest secrets and then says something like, oh, I don't know why I tell you that. My bestie doesn't know. So that's something that introverts have quite regularly. And that's something we call in psychology is psychological safety. Because we create this room, the space where people can open up, where they feel seen, where they feel safe. And
sorry to cut you off. It's interesting to hear you say it, because that's actually, I'm just going to pat Keith and John. That's actually Keith and John's show, because I like to think we've worked really hard to create a very safe space by being curious and asking questions that make people feel welcome, and using our own introvertedness to allow that to happen. Not bark, not be loud. Yeah, okay. But, I always say judge the book by its cover, because you got a couple of dudes here who you might not think about some of the things that we're saying. But I'm really appreciative of your comment, the power of an introverted leader, because they push different buttons in a human being than a loud leader, don't they? Because an introverted leader, like John, will come at you with questions first. He'll ask you 30 questions, 50 before he leads you. He wants to know everything he wants to know before he'll lead you. That's what an introverted leader is: being curious, asking questions, being soft, right?
Yes. And one who does a pretty good job at that is Stephen Bartlett, with Diaries of a CEO, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He has all the great people on his podcast, and they're open up so deeply, and they're having conversations that go so deep. And I think most of it is because of Stephen Bartlett uses his power as an introvert so good.
Well, there's a huge correlation between an introvert and working on themselves.
Yes.
And when you work on yourself,
yes,
you kind of by default become a bit of a leader.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Because you're taking yourself and your own, because you're curious about yourself first is what I'd like to think. right?
Yes.
You're very curious about yourself. Speaking about self, as we and Bjorn, this is great, man. I can't believe we're working towards wrapping up some time here with you, but you have a concept that you call unshakably you.
Yes.
And that's a powerful concept, man. Where did that come from? And what does it actually mean when you say to somebody unshakably you? Give us some practical nuggets that somebody can take away from that headline.
Yeah, being unshakably you means that you don't question yourself all the time. Because one dangerous thing as an introvert is to ask too many questions about yourself. And to take all the feedback you get from the outside to question yourself. So that's
they don't understand.
Yeah. And so what comes up are things like self-doubt or perfectionism, overactive inner critic, and that's all the things that really hold us back being strong to the outside. So being unshakably you means to just start by asking yourself, who am I and who do I want to be? So identity first, right? And then we can create good relationships with everybody.
Once you get there, once you get where you're talking about, it doesn't matter what people say.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, you set healthy boundaries, right? Where you just say people, okay, you can talk shit to me.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. I know who I am.
You know what I say to that is, listen, if you don't like me, that's fine. Just do it over there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can tell me that you don't like me. So that's one thing that I always said to. I've worked in public relations within armed forces, right? And we always had people who said, "Oh, armed forces are bad. Go home," and all that stuff. And I always told them that you are standing here telling me that you don't like me. That's something that I would give my life for when it comes to it. So that's my thing as a soldier. I will protect this right for you, that you can tell me that you don't like me.
Bjorn, take this comment for how you would like to receive it. I really enjoy your energy. I you know, as an introvert, I'm very much find myself, John will hear me say this every now and then with some guests, like I find myself wanting to walk towards the camera to your energy. And you may not know that because you consider yourself introverted, and I respect that. I want you to know though that you put out a very confident energy that's very welcoming. The way you speak, the way you communicate, and my ears go up. They really do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I want to ask you one last question before I walk out of here, and it's kind of a deeper one. But I want you to take us back to a moment in your life when you weren't unshakable, when you felt the most lost before your wife, maybe in the military, maybe before military, the most uncertain, Bjorn, the most disconnected from who you really were and who you are today. And what was that moment? And what pulled you through it? Because there's a guy right now. We got a guy in the community, Ross. Maybe he's listening right now. He's going through tough shit right now. Maybe your words will help him move to the journey he's on right now. What did you do to become the man you are today when there was that moment when you weren't, Bjorn Hagemann, unshakable?
It was one of my deepest hours when my mom died. And it was out of a sudden, and I wasn't able to grieve. So that was really bad. I wasn't even able to cry. I expected all the sadness.
Why?
Because I was cut off of my emotions. I worked so hard on cutting off, like you said, John. When people talk shit to you, you just need to be that unshakable you, because otherwise you take that and then you take it for yourself, and then you start questioning yourself, and self-doubt comes up, and your inner critic goes wild, and you just start to dig into yourself and go back and get that big defense, and that's why I've been. I wasn't able to feel emotions, and that really pissed me off. So I realized that I have to do something, that I have to get back to my emotions, and that I have to open up my heart again, to be more compassionate with myself, to be mindful with myself, to gain that self-confidence back for me, to stand out there in the world and to be vulnerable and to lead from my heart. And that was a long way. I needed to learn mindfulness. I needed to learn compassion. I needed to overcome some blocks. And all that is things that I now do with my clients so that they can open up more, to open their hearts, to lead from the heart and with love and compassion. And I think that is the thing that we need in this world today.
Awesome. Johnny, closing comments for Bjorn?
Yeah, you've had a lot of great things to say, brother. I think these are the things that people need to hear.
It's interesting you said, John, because our resident doctor, Bjorn, I encourage you to connect to Dr. John Petrocelli on LinkedIn. Solid dude. He's a professor of bullshit. And I mean that sincerely. He studies social science. Solid guy, man. And he's always dropping nuggets. And he's got a nugget here right now. I like Bjorn's message. Effective leadership doesn't require acting like an extrovert or to be someone you are not. Mm-hmm. Introverts can be great leaders too. Bjorn Hagemann joining us all the way from Germany, served 10 years as a sergeant, founded, I can't say it, Bjorn, so I'm not even going to try. He's a certified perma lead keynote speaker. He's a host of, not even going to try to say it, and he got married in 2024, his biggest win of the year. Brother, I'm so grateful for you joining us today. You dropped a lot of nuggets. I hope you'll find some time to come join us again. And looking at my notes here, you're a member of the Mornings in the Lab alumni now, Bjorn. So I'm really grateful that you spent some time with us today. How can folks find you, connect with you, and engage with you, Bjorn?
Easiest way is on LinkedIn or on school, but my community is German speaking right now. But just connect over LinkedIn, and let's see, when we have enough people who want to have an English speaking community, maybe I'll open it up.
Awesome. Bjorn, thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you had as much fun with us as we had with you.
I did. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right, Bjorn Hagermann's out of here. We're going to do the lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen and come back and reset hour 2 with a bunch of fun topics to keep the show going here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Let's do it, Jimmy.
Ears up, nation. It's time for the Big Dog's lifestyle tip.
It was a home run of a guest right there. And for me not to take a bite out of that for this lifestyle tip would just be criminal. We've talked about this in the past, and something's telling me it wasn't even that long ago that we talked about it. It's probably something we should talk about more. And that's identity. We're kind of programmed and raised to have goals, which is nothing wrong with that. But what we're not raised and programmed to understand is that our identity is what we need to lead with. Our identity is what creates how we live our lives, which ultimately is our standards. And our standards are, you don't really reach your goals. You end up living up to your standards. Now, ask yourself a couple of questions. That's another thing that our amazing guest just said was questions. Well, who are you? Do you hit the snooze button? Do you break the things that you say to yourself when you say, I'm going to get this done, and you don't? Is that part of your identity? Is hitting the snooze part of your identity? Is reacting rather than responding part of your identity? Well, asking yourself enough questions to understand who you are will help you figure out what your identity truly is. And maybe you need to work on that first, because once you understand who you are, it's going to be much easier to get those standards to support who you are. And at that point, you're going to have the firepower to go get the goals that align with your identity / your standards. So don't look at this equation in reverse. Don't think, man, I got this big goal. I don't know why I can't get to it. Well, you're not getting to your goal because your goal doesn't match your standards. And your standards are basically set by your identity. So I would say the tip is start asking yourself some questions to figure out who you are, understand who you are, work on yourself, work on that identity, which ultimately will kind of help you set your standards, which will give you the firepower you need to go reach those goals. Rock and roll.
All right, John, Keith, good time. Big moment here. Oh, yeah, this is going to be good. Everyone's been waiting for this. Melissa's finally joining the show. Let's go. Wait, what?
Melissa's still stuck in GPT again?
Man, she's been buffering longer than Keith's intros.
Oh, I love it. Welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Hey, guys, just a quick rewind. Hour one, we kicked off with just a bunch of conversation. Good job, Jimmy and Melissa, getting after it behind the scenes. Wow, we just rocked an awesome guest, man. Bjorn Hagemann showed how quiet leaders win with calm trust and standards that speak louder than volume. If you missed that, guys, I encourage you to go listen to that. A good 30-minute conversation with Bjorn. Introverted leader who I think probably is man, he dropped. I'm not going to do it any justice. Go back, listen to the conversation. Wisdom after wisdom, a lot of great nuggets that were dropped there on the show. We looked a little bit into the Coca-Cola commercial that's been dropped that people are pissed off about because they got nothing else to be pissed off about these days. And we are going to have a conversation coming up around the reply all. We're going to get into beware clicks. And we're going to get into the community corner with Maya Reyes. We're going to talk YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack. Today, we're talking about why your morning feels anxious, why morning routines are still the cheat code, and a reminder that you are more capable than you believe. All right, let's get into this one. Let's get back into the show here this morning on Mornings in Live with Keith, John, and friends. I had a topic here in that first hour that I did not get to. And it is related to shower thoughts. And it's kind of a ridiculous conversation that I thought we could throw on the table here. And no, we're not talking counting Johnny's in the shower. No, that's for a different day. But it's funny. I found this ridiculous conversation starter here, Nation, which is what people actually think about in the shower. And I'm serious. And there's some comments here that are somewhat, I guess, have gone viral. And what strikes me is who took the time to capture all this stuff. But these thoughts that people have, like, what do you think about in the shower? What do you think about? Like, do you think about the day ahead of you? Do you think about what you got to do? Do you think about the moment? Because man, I found some ridiculous conversation starters that people think about. And one of the things that people think about in the shower, Johnny, is why is it called taking a dump when you're actually leaving it?
Well, take is definitely an interesting word, you know.
Well, that's we got a morning show for stupid conversations. I just saw Jimmy's comment. So here's this one. If life is unfair to everyone, does that mean life is actually fair? And you know what's great? You're the philosopher.
That's 100%, brother.
Between the two of us, you are the philosophers. This is great because I'm throwing you philosophy 101 right now. So, you know, it's funny because I was having a discussion with somebody yesterday, or maybe it was on the show, who was saying that,
brother, so life is absolutely fair because everybody has the same unfair environment, unfair, track, obstacle course to follow. We all just suck at different obstacles. So one person can't swim across the fucking moat. The other person can't climb the wall. Well, so it's just basically, which part of the course do you get stuck?
It's the same thing when people say that I don't have enough time. I got the same amount of time in a day as you got.
The good Lord gave me 24 hours. The good Lord gave you 24 hours. Just because you can't manage your 24 hours, not my fault.
Dude, the average man is too busy. The elite man finds the time to get it done.
Yes.
Here's the end of story.
Why do we drive in parkways and park in driveways, Mr. Philosopher?
Why do we say that again? Why do we?
I love this, man. Why do we drive in parkways and park in driveways? It's true.
You know, I never understood the parking in a driveway unless I'm a guest at someone's house.
Oh, this is interesting. Really? Are you serious? Yeah. You're like, why am I? So what you're saying is you're going, why am I coming to Keith's house and parking in his driveway? Is that what you're saying to me?
No, I'm a guest. So that's for me to park. That's, you know, what you see these, it always kind of amazes me. You got a guy who's got a 3-car garage and he's got fucking 2 cars sitting in his fucking driveway. So his guests have nowhere to fucking park. Right.
Well, yeah, and then the garage is full of junk.
And the garage is fucking filled with a bunch. It's like the place he puts shit, but he's too fucking lazy to organize his life.
Yes. Hey, here's something funny for you. When you're I want to be. When you're born deaf, what language do you think in?
Well, I guess it depends if you can read lips.
What?
Because then you're reading the lips of the people that are speaking the language that you're thinking.
Yeah, I guess. Or here's something for you. Why is it when you talk to a deaf person, you talk louder? Or you walk up to somebody who speaks a different language. So let's pretend you speak Chinese. I'll walk up to you, Johnny. And then you start. You actually, our volume goes up. Or why is it when we're driving?
I think that's only for people that are not used to that. Because I've spent a lot of time in countries where people didn't understand English well.
Yes.
And if anything, I would say I might be the opposite, where I'm speaking a little softer as I try to figure out how to use fewer words and gesture what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah. Here's somebody's shower thought too. Every time you blink.
Oh, these are all this is the shower.
Yeah. These are crazy, man. These are fucking crazy. People actually think of this shit and somebody took time to write it down. Every time you blink, you're missing a moment of your life that you'll never come back again. Maybe that's why Pete Davidson walks around with his eyes always open, wide open. Doesn't want to blink, doesn't want to miss. Think about all the moments we miss because we blink.
Dude, you know what I get in the shower? I get in the shower at night.
Yeah.
And what I try to figure this out on the way to the shower.
Okay.
And it's, am I going to learn or am I going to just sit in silence and just kind of like, I decide, do I need input or do I need processing time?
So it's interesting. It does, yeah, because now let's get personal. So when I go into the shower after I count my Johnny and Marty's first thing in the morning when it's dark and it's cold.
Well, thank fucking God you put Marty in that mix.
But then I have a second shower. So I have my first shower when I get out of bed. So I'm like, I have sleep, and it's the one that wakes me up before my coffee. Okay, and then I go do my thing. Then I train. I get my 90 minutes training, and then I go shower again before the show. So when I'm showering before the show, my thought process is
this got to be fucking on.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about the show. Yeah, I'm not thinking about what language a deaf person's thinking.
That's a premeditation shower.
Yeah. Although I will say I will use the shower to start kind of warming up maybe the brain modules for joking or for humor or stuff. So like the born deaf, what language do you think? And I do often think about these obscure thoughts in my head. Wondering,
but you're also, again, you're purpose driven with your showers.
100%. Yes, absolutely. Yes. 100%.
Sounds like these people that get in there that have a fucking notepad so they can write down this weird shit. There's not a lot of purpose going on here.
This is true, I think. Oh my God, this is true. So I'd be curious to know what you guys all think about in the shower. What kind of crazy shit. Hey, going from shower to reply alls. Now, I know you've never worked in a big organization for a lot of people. And I know you've prided yourself.
Hold on. What's a reply all?
Oh, I'm going to go there with you. So, okay. And I know that you've worked for yourself and you've had your own companies and you've been a leader in your own companies. You've had people working around you. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're replying to an email and you've replied all to everybody on the thread and you're like, holy shit, I just sent this email to a bunch of people that actually shouldn't be reading this thing right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Never.
You haven't, eh? Yeah.
Ever hit reply all and feel your soul leave?
Today's mission, recover fast, keep trust. Short ownership beats long excuses, every time. First aid kit, undo send, delay send, confirm, big lists. And breathe. What's your one sentence own it line? Drop it in chat, save a colleague tomorrow.
Just threw something on a table here today. There are situations where folks get into where they hit the old reply all button in email, especially in large organizations that have email culture, where secrets or whatever you want could be sent in that email and it hits everybody. So somebody's sitting at their desk.
You said secrets?
Yeah.
You're going to fucking put a secret in an email that can be tracked for fucking decades?
I've seen shit in my inbox in the years in the past going, oh, that person hit the wrong reply because they send it to everybody. And you can see that person walking back going, oh my goodness, I just sent that to everybody. And it's going to affect my day right now. So it's funny because the reply all situation does happen in large organizations.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it affects everybody because everybody sees what you're thinking I'm sending it to Keith. Yet you're sending it to the whole organization just because you.
I guess it also just comes down to if you're sending something that has fucking merit, you shouldn't be too worried about it. If you're sending some bullshit, oh God.
It's actually interesting to hear you say it because, every now and then we hear about court cases or situations that go through the courts and they start subpoenaing emails, and you ask yourself, "Holy fuck, they're writing that shit in email."
Dude, I would just the concept of returning an email that's not productive, no fucking way.
Well, I know you'd appreciate this. What most, in my experience, most humans misunderstand the inbox of our inbox because your inbox is my task list. Think about that, because if I send you something, I'm wanting you to do something. So now basically your inbox is everybody else's task list. It's not yours. It's everybody else's, because every time somebody sends you something and you're going to act on it, it's adding to your. It's people kind of get it lost, which is if I'm going through the inbox all day, I'm actually simply checking everybody else's tasks off their task list. So what you might want to do is do your stuff first before you go to the inbox, because the inbox is somebody else's work. It's rarely yours. Rarely. Think about that.
Well, you know what I find with that is, because I'm involved in lots of group emails.
I know you are. Yes.
But I'm more of a voyeur. It's like, please include me in this so I can keep tabs on the progression of this.
Oh, yes.
Of this task.
Yes.
Or somebody will be in there that I'll have to give approval to. Like that happens often. Someone new comes on the team. Okay, I'm going to get you connected with so-and-so. They'll give access for whatever you need, include me. So when you ask for something, I can just see it and say, yes, please grant access.
Yes. I will say this with the power of email. It still is the last digital piece of technology.
What's crazy about email? It's like, it used to be you could send an email and just push the button and be okay. Knowing that it was. Now I find myself fucking sending a text. Did you get my email?
Oh, yes.
Because the fucking things go in they take sometimes 10 minutes to get there, and then they'll go in someone's fucking spam folder. And it's like, until that becomes a live email that's gone back and forth, you never know where that first one is going to go.
So email culture certainly is changing. Like many companies now may not use as much email, might use platforms like Slack, messaging platforms, or we inside the house here use Roam, which is like we don't use. So inside of Mornings in the Lab Network, inside of our company here, we don't use much email. Actually, we live inside of.
We are text, man. Us
too.
If someone's in
platform,
if something's important, I'm going to be so much more proficient.
Yes,
on a text versus an email.
Yeah. It's less formal, right? We've been conditioned that there's a certain formality with email, unlike text, where we can just kind of bang off a few words, and if John doesn't get back, you know what I mean?
I think of it more of as efficiency.
Well, that too, 100%. Yes. Hey, going back to the conversation with Bjorn, man, I want to go back to the conversation. That was a good conversation. I'm really glad that we talked about identity. Because I will say that there were some things that, hey, Petro, the shower is a great place for thinking. I'm with you. Yeah. I was talking with the team yesterday.
So is the toilet, Petro.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Hey, that gold toilet's up for sale. We talked about it yesterday. $17 million we're selling that gold toilet for on Sotheby's. So if you got a few bucks sitting around, you can go and buy yourself a toilet.
I can think of a lot better things I would do with 17 million.
Yeah, you and me both. Hey, so also speaking, you missed this part. The Louvre, remember the Louvre was robbed last week or a couple weeks ago, the big museum? Their Wi-Fi password, Louvre.
Yeah, I guess that shows where their simplicity got a little too simple.
But let's just put the contrast in that, right? One of the world's most distinct museums with some of the world's greatest artifacts and museum items and so in the museum, like security and lockdown, their Wi-Fi password, Louvre. Like just the most basic thing, right? But anyways, back to Hagemann.
Oh, that was the forgive me, that wasn't the thieves, that was the museum.
Yeah, that was the museum. Yeah,
Whoever's in charge of that will be a little silly.
It was the video surveillance password. Yeah, and one of the people they caught, you're gonna fucking roll your eyes at this one. One of the guys they caught, who's the robber? A YouTube influencer. Honest to fucking God. Exactly.
I guess it just shows in today's world, man.
It just shows in today's world, man. Two things I want to throw at you before you rock and roll. The man with the orange hair. The man with orange hair, I was reading a fascinating conversation with him. He's never owned a computer. Because he's like, I don't want to have... So this says a lot about somebody's character, right? I don't want to have anything that I've done have a digital trace.
That's a person thinking ahead.
Oh my, is it ever? Like, and we're talking thinking way, way, way ahead, aren't we, Anderson? Like we're thinking, yeah. So that just says a lot about a character when somebody makes that remark. Like, no, you write the note on your computer. You write the note on your device. I'm not saying anything. Right?
Well, there's also like there's something about, I'm trying to brain fart, owns tons of companies, billionaire, Virgin Airlines.
Richard Branson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his model where he basically in the morning, he just meets with his team leaders and and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's verbal.
Yes.
And you get a team in place. You might not, a good team, you might not actually need a computer. If it's, now granted, depending on what's your purpose of not having a computer would be the question.
Yes.
But I fucking love that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Something to be said for that, for sure. So back to Bjorn though. I want to say this though. What I really leaned into what he was saying, and I'll make it personal for myself here, was I've recognized that over the last number of weeks, maybe the last month or so, and it's actually that recent, maybe over the last couple of months. I've reemerged with my identity. Now you're going, what does that mean? Because I like how you've leaned into standards, because because I couldn't find the words, to be frank, until I started kind of hearing you talk about it. So over the last couple of years, we've been building this, you say this business that we're building. It's taken me some time, true story, to gain the confidence that I wasn't what I was yesterday. That identity from yesterday that I kept leaning back into, like that's 2 years, like it's a long time ago, like we talk about, right? But now that we've built something, we're building something, we have a track record underneath us, we have history, we have evidence. My identity to speak about it, to speak confidently about the power of live conversation. I'm very confident where the media industry is going with live conversation. I'm confident with the evidence we have put in place by showing up for 2 years. So the entire tone of even my messaging online has completely changed. It's confidence, because my standards, I've established a new set of standards. It's this new routine that I have. It's working with you. And it's actually I haven't felt this way in many years, to be frank with you. And it's all actually come together in the last few weeks, and hearing Bjorn talk about it was really welcoming for me, because I have this sense of confidence now that I haven't had in a long time about what we've built. I really mean that, because it's just so clear to me now. So it's like, and I like, maybe it's the same way with you, with your vertically integrated, with peptides and the business you've built, right? You're like, hey, the world's talking about it. Hey, I know shit about this. Hey, I'm good at this, speaking on your behalf. And you're like, yeah, I'm fucking doing this. Because I've even noticed a change in you. So I'm just saying, I really enjoy what Bjorn was saying, because we don't talk as men enough about identity, John. We don't. And how we let it eat inside of us.
Well, it's because, people don't know themselves.
Yes.
When you ask someone, who are you? They say, I'm a plumber.
Yep.
No, that's what you do.
Yep.
Who are you?
Yep. Exactly right. And I like that he was asking himself. I ask myself questions all the fucking time. This morning I was on for a walk. Oh man, I was on the treadmill this morning for my walk. I must ask myself 1,000 questions.
Yeah, it's powerful shit.
It is.
That keeps you growing.
It does. Speaking of growing, what are you doing today?
Well, I'm actually, after this show, I've just got a few things to handle. I'm going for nap number 1.
Nice. Okay.
I have at least a 2 today. Because yesterday I knew I was okay. I'm gonna lay it out today, but I'm gonna have to do a little extra recovery tomorrow.
And then you're off to Mexico on Monday, or when you head tomorrow, Saturday?
Monday.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, and the girls go. And one of the girls are going down with you too.
Actually, our youngest is going to stay here.
Okay.
Because she has class. She has class on Monday.
Okay.
And I think she's actually kind of excited to have a little, because she lives by herself most of the time. So I think she's probably, and the dogs are going to stay with her here.
Oh,
so
fun. Yeah, fun.
Yeah. So it's I think she's companion wise, she's happy with that. She loves animals.
That's awesome. And Nation, if you get a chance, go look at Johnny's latest Instagram picture he put up there yesterday, or one of his team did. But it's the young, handsome Johnny on stage there. He's all jacked up. He's got a nice pose there. He's I will say you've aged nicely with that picture, dude. Man, you must have had just the men and women crawling all over you, wanting a piece of Jon Andersen.
Well, guess how old I was right there.
43.
I think I was like 46, 47.
Oh yeah, okay, not too far, not too bad. You look fucking great, man. Holy smokes.
Yes, I didn't even get on stage for the first time until I was 42 or 43.
Okay. Yeah. What a great picture, though. Seriously, honest to God. Yeah. It's a great looking picture, man. Great looking picture.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, I did not take the picture before I went into the shower this morning, just so you know. Just to be clear on that. I did not, it was not on the way before my counting Johnny's into the shower. Just making sure you know that.
That'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. Get the hell out of here. Lots of love, man. Hey, we got a full week of guests next week. I have no idea what's showing up, but I know we got a full roster of curious human beings coming to hang out with you and me in the lab, and we'll see what we can do with them.
Let's go, baby. Hopefully they're amazing ones like we had today.
I agree. Yeah. Exactly. All right, pal. Lots of love. Love you, bud. Take care of yourself, okay? Drive safe.
Love you too, brother. Have a good loop.
You bet. All right, Johnny's out of here, guys. You're left with the handsome chief. That is me. Yep. What's going on, nation? All right. Looking at the clocks coming up at the bottom of the hour. We're going to do a reset here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. We got the community corner coming up. Maya Reyes is going to get into some stuff happening over on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Substack. Hey, call out, guys, if you're watching the show on the vertical stream here today, did you guys notice the center stage intro? Oh, we have a vertical intro and a horizontal intro. Fuck me, man. Rock and roll. What great production content and not cropped. YouTube, what are you doing, man? Because here's what would have happened. We would have ran that and they would have cropped it. You wouldn't have saw it. Like I'm extremely disappointed in the way they're rolling that out. It seems like they just like rushed to roll it. It's like, yeah, okay, we need to combine both streams. We're just going to do a crop. Yeah, but what about people that are actually investing a lot of effort into creating a production that doing a crop is not going to work very well? Okay, so let's see here. What do we got here left to get after today before we get into the community corner? I believe we got John Petrocelli joining us for a few minutes later on in the show here as well, which I'm looking forward to having up here. And let's see. Hey, guys, you guys can join the show that's live right now or in the Mornings in the Lab community. The community is live over in the Mornings in the Lab channel. If you haven't liked it, subscribed to it, or joined to it, I'd invite you to do that. And to join the show, open the phone lines up, 431-300-3005. Send me a text, send me a voicemail, or, hey, just make a phone call and bring yourself into the show. Hey, we have a new graphic. The handsome chief is doing a little dance over there. There you go. 431-300-3005. And if you're not joining the show live, this is what we do. We do live conversational content Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, preceded by Matt Roof, 7:30 Eastern time with Kindness Rising. We are launching a Mornings in the Lab live network. 100 creators we're targeting for 2026, 100 creators to come join the network, to join and start their own live conversations. Think of this as a brand new streaming experience platform brought to you by the Mornings in the Lab crew here. Okay, so we are going to continue moving over into, I think we're going to go into the morning focus here, Jimmy. If we have an opener for that, let's do that. I want to get into this chat about 4 lessons on surviving viral hate and building real community.
Ever been blindsided by a comment avalanche? Welcome to the storm shelter, fellas. Today's play: survive outrage platforms without becoming the villain.
4 lessons, 0 dog piles. First move, breathe, then boundary. We don't feed trolls, we feed community.
Stick around. 4 plays to turn chaos into connection.
Beware the clicks. Beware the clicks. 4 lessons on surviving viral hate and building real community. This is what I did in the past, guys. I built communities for big brands in the past. This steps into the world that I came from. So talk about expertise or experience or authority. Well, the handsome chief can talk a little bit about this. Hey, have you ever felt blindsided by a viral pile-on or a sudden wave of online hate? Maybe you posted something and all you're doing is getting a bunch of crap thrown at you. Well, let's talk about 4 essential lessons for surviving that storm. As John would say, if they're talking smack, you're probably on the right track. And how you can build a real community in an attention-driven world that profits from outrage. And it's clear, man. Wow, do you ever need to put stuff out there that moves the needle away from boredom and vanilla? If it's vanilla, it ain't getting seen. I'll tell you that right now. Understanding how platforms reward anger and how to respond with boundaries, community, and empathy can protect your mental health, reduce that harm, and turn chaos into connection that actually lasts. So let's dig into it. You guys. So understanding the triggers. Here's the reality, guys, in the world of social, in the world of the media we live in. Algorithms amplify anger. Point blank, period. Those modern attention systems reward high arousal emotions. Right? The outrage, the fear, the accelerating radicalization, right? Recognizing that the system nudges conflict might help you resist escalation and choose wiser responses. Like my lawyer taught me this. Like if your words in the conversation are not going to move the conversation forward, what's the point in speaking about it? So you might want to consider setting healthy boundaries with hate. You know that H word we don't talk about here on the show? Maybe you don't want to read every hostile comment because it might just create this psychological messed up in your head. The reality is when you put yourself out there on the interwebs, you're going to get shit thrown at you left and right. So a practical playbook moves including pausing before any reply, escalating to a host, stepping away. What I highly recommend, guys, I talked about it yesterday, was so if you're in a live conversation, engage. Right away, engage. Because the troll is not expecting engagement. And when you engage in a way that moves them forward, they're absolutely not expecting that. So set some healthy boundaries with hate, with dislike. Decide what you're going to communicate with and decide what you're not going to communicate with. Use community as a shield. We do it here on the show often, right? You know, we'll have somebody come in and offer some bullshit in the comments. Bernard will step in. Adam will step in. Say, hey, this is John Petros. This is an R-rated show. You know, you're going to hear stuff here you might not like, right? So using the community as your shield, not as a weapon, right? Countering hate works best through organizing your words, right? And modeling respectful disagreement. Another way to do this, guys, and this actually leans back into our conversation with Bjorn Hagemann earlier on in the show, is embracing empathy and connection over conflict. You've heard me do it on the show before. Dude, I'm sorry that you took some time out of your day to put these ridiculous words into my feed. I know you're a much smarter individual than that. And the person who's the troll is going, this guy's actually talking to me in a kind way. Yes, because I'm not choosing to pursue conflict. Because Sullivan, we know that conflict doesn't generally move towards an ending. It generally drives more conflicts. So empathy, charitable reading, slow to anger situations. So here's how I'll wrap it up for you guys today. How you can proceed through the situation and win in a world where trolls are just throwing hate your way. Here's what you might want to do. True story. Build that boundary stack. And the one thing I would encourage you to do is just step away. Just step away. Take a cool off block. Take a cool off block. I got a text from Good Time here. What's Good Time sending me right now? Take that cool off block. Walk away from the whole situation. Hustle until your haters ask if you're hiring. I love it. It's exactly it. Hustle until your haters ask if you're hiring, courtesy of Charlie. That's exactly right. Right? And activate the community protocol. Get the community after it, guys. The community is the greatest way to dispel any garbage in your world. Because if you build a true community, that community is going to help protect the values of that community. Choose the clarity over chaos, community over clicks, and empathy over escalation. That's how you outlast outrage and build something real. And guys, I just say this. If somebody's pissing in your cornflakes today, take a deep breath. Just take a breath. Step back. Take it in. Take it in. Don't take it personal. In a world of a lot of bullshit. And hey, here's the other thing. You don't even know if it's actually a human being on the other side. That's the other thing in today's world, man. You don't even know sometimes whether it's actually a human or whether it's some AI generated bot from fucking Russia who's causing you the grief in your world. And think about that. There's some entity that doesn't even exist that's causing you nothing but grief in your brain. Take that power, do something else with it instead of having it control you. Okay, all right, listen, where are we at here with the show here? I'm just having a quick little check here. We did not get to... Nope, did not get to that one here today. The deep dive conversation there, Jim and Melissa. So I think we're going to do that, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that one. So let's do this. Let's bring Petro in, Jimmy, Melissa, and then we'll get to the community corner with Maya Reyes. Let's do it. There he is.
Hey, Keith.
What's going on, brother? How are you? Hey, how is Bjorn Hagemann today?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to call bullshit on Simon Sinek and all of his advocacy for a lot of the bullshit that he throws out there. But I guess I got to give a point for Simon Sinek today with he's often argued the same thing, just, be yourself. You're going to be better at being yourself than trying to be anybody else,
Yes.
And I really like Bjorn's message today. I want to say too, I've got, this isn't systematic evidence, but about 12 years of experience seeing leaders, that people that you wouldn't expect to be leaders.
Yeah.
Actually the least likely,
Yeah.
I know a guy that has I work out with sometimes in the morning, boot camp workworkouts.
Yeah.
All men workouts, F3 I've told you about.
Yeah.
There's a guy I know that basically showed up with his first workout with a leather jacket and jeans. He hadn't worked out for so long. He didn't have workout clothes.
Clearly. Yes.
So we nicknamed him, because of his leather jacket, we nicknamed him Fonzie.
Yes.
Right? And, I figured when I saw him when he showed up for that workout, I thought this will probably be the last time I see this guy. He's not gonna be back. But I'll tell you what, he showed up, the next day and the next day, and he was out there. And I'll tell you, Fonzie's probably the biggest advocate for F3 and spread F3, probably more than anybody that I can think of. And this guy has been a huge leader. So he was in Charlotte area for about 3 years, and then he moved to Indianapolis in Indiana, and he brought F3 with him immediately. In Indianapolis didn't have F3 boot camp workouts, and he launched it himself.
Oh yeah.
So even the introverts with Coke bottle glasses, that are some of the strangest looking people, can really surprise you. And I know that anybody can be a leader, and being yourself is, if you're an introvert or extrovert, I don't think that really matters. But so I think Hageman's message was really great today, and he didn't try to be somebody else. He wasn't going to, be a contradiction of his message. So you could see that in his delivery of his message today.
Well, what I enjoyed about it too, John, is that he didn't try to be what he thought this show wanted him to be. You follow me? Because I've had some guests on my show that will remain nameless that have, I don't want to say put on an act, but I could tell were performative because of what they thought the show wanted from the human. Does that make sense to you? Right.
Absolutely.
Which is, I love the real human showing up that's going to be themselves, right? That can take what this show is. This show is a safe space of fun conversation. It's performative, but it's not about being who you're not. And it's funny because we talk about it ad nauseum, especially today's world. Be authentic, be yourself. We all still don't know what that means, do we, John? Really?
Well, and it's tough too. There's a new book out by Thomas Pre-Music,
okay,
and it's called "Don't Be Yourself."
Oh,
sort of the downsides of authenticity. And Jeffrey Pfeffer wrote about this in a bullshit leadership book years ago too. Yeah. So one of the problems with authenticity in the workplace is that you can be yourself, but you also want to remember that you play a role, that you have responsibilities. And so it's not to be yourself to the extent that you wear all of your opinions and your feelings, and your criticisms and your biases on your sleeve, because it'll be those things that you might find appreciate and they like you more because you've disclosed some things, maybe your own weaknesses. Those will be the same things that they use against you.
Yes.
And when you're being evaluated. So it's tricky, especially in the workplace, but I think there's limits to that. But my first thing that I learned in teaching was really that my graduate school teaching mentor was right, that if you just be yourself, I know it sounds so cliche, if you be yourself and try not to be someone else, you'll come off much, much better. And in the classroom, students, you feel that pressure to be sort of this entertaining yes, delivery, but that just never really comes off well, and they can read right through that. So
this is interesting though, because as young men, when we grow up, young men, young females, we want to model, right? And I wonder, as we grow up, again, just think about males, as we grow up, do we find ourselves modeling too much where we lose ourselves, where we have to get to an age in our lives where we start questioning who we are and questioning what we're all about? Just like Hagemann was saying, like, ask yourself questions. Like I was for my walk this morning, I just asked myself thousands of questions. I'm exaggerating, but just kept asking myself questions. But my point is that as we're young men and as teenagers and in our 20s and 30s, we find ourselves role modeling maybe. And maybe, John, what happens is that we role model ourselves to a point where we're actually you. Does that make sense? Like, so if I'm a disciple of John Petrocelli as a young man hanging out with John all the time, do I find my identity leaning into who you are instead of who I am?
Yeah, I think it does spill over into that sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're trying to play that other role.
Mm.
I think the trick that I found to get out of that, though, was to watch recordings of myself, whatever it was doing. And I probably watched myself video wise more than anybody that I can think of, because I did it with sports. You know, I watched hours of, playing defensive tackle, in high school and small college football as well. And you just watch hours of yourself and you can make great leaps and bounds by just seeing how you really look and how you're really coming off the ball, and then I did it again with counseling, my counseling supervision. So I spent at least 2 years in internships, practicums under supervised practice. And you, at least once a week, you watch about 30 minutes with your supervisor, and you in that counseling arena for, and you're with a client, and you can see yourself there, right? And then I did it in teaching as well. And you just don't learn how other people see you until you see yourself on video. And then you can make those corrections. It's recording, but it's a live, it's a live recording of a live performance. And you can make those corrections when you see yourself and you're like, that's not how I wanted to come on. and I can see, that doesn't feel real comfortable. So it always pushes you in the direction of being comfortable, at least with how you're delivering something. And so I think that you can see yourself better trying to be someone else, trying to play another role, only through watching some video of yourself. So
we got Bjorn's joining us in the comments right now, my brother, and he says, being yourself doesn't mean not to fulfill the role that you're in. We all have some roles, being a leader, parent, child, friend, but we also need to know who we are beyond those roles. And you maybe heard me talking about it a little before John left. I have found my own confidence coming to the table as we've been building this platform, this network, this show here. And I didn't know that I was feeling the way I was feeling up until recently, that I had this void, this identity, this imposter syndrome, whatever we want to call it. Right. So identity is a fascinating topic to me, man. It really is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's, you change the identity, you change the role. I mean, you see a big swing in behavior. I mean, we know that for, decades of research. You switch even just the name of your role, or the name of the role that somebody else is playing. So, are you working with a car dealer?
Yes.
Are you working with a used car dealer? Or are you working with a representative of the dealership? Or are you working with a customer satisfaction expert or whatever these people, their livelihoods depend on selling us cars, right? But they change their name weekly, to fit the situation, because the whole experience just comes off differently.
Well, right? It's interesting to hear you say it, because I know how it came to fruition for me. Like, I have been bullish on live since I started the show. I believe live is a big part of what the future of the internet and conversational content will be, right? And so I'm a big believer in that. It's really been just his last couple of weeks where, and believe me when I hear this, I do not chase affirmation. I do not chase confirmation. I'm very believable in my own views. However, I think we as all humans, when somebody you see out there that you respect or that is doing cool things agrees with what you believe in, you're like, yes. Right. So there was a couple high profile people in the last couple of weeks that were like, yeah, I'm betting on the future of being live. And I'm like, I know I've been saying the same thing. What it did for me, Petro, was that it took this shoulder, and a little confidence in my head go, oh. And it pushed my confidence a little bit because it pushed what I felt my identity today even further forward, away from the one that I was yesterday. Right. And what I mean by that is that when I grew ICUC and I went through my journey in life, and when I started the show, John, I was still like the old ICUC social media guy. Well, that's a fucking long time ago. Mm-hmm. Now I have, and I love you for teaching me this. Now I have evidence underneath my belt of doing this live show for a couple of years. Thanks, Good Time. I appreciate that. Building a community, failing day in and day out, but then having some outside affirmation, as you call it, that we're going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Dude, my confidence just fucking through the roof because I know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely, and I think it takes that, Keith, to get something like a live show Monday through Friday for 2 hours to keep it going for more than 2 weeks. You know, like
yes.
Anybody can do it for a couple of weeks, right? But and I think what you're hitting on too, you talked about earlier that I really liked. I think maybe Wednesday or yesterday about the growth mindset. That's what you're really talking about when you had the 3 phrases that you say or you don't, and the 3 that you don't say. That the growth mindset is extremely well validated and documented.
It is.
Carol Dweck is the main researcher that launched this whole area, and she spent pretty much better part of her career validating the growth mindset in opposition to the fixed mindset. So she's got a ton of data. I always like the data from that she had with children and how parents speak with their children. So if you say, if your child gets an exam grade and they get an A, and parents tell their children, wow, that's because you're smart. You got an A because you're smart. Well, that's consistent with the fixed mindset, that this idea that sort of intelligence doesn't really change. You can't really improve it. It's just you have it or you don't have it, right? But if parents tell their children, well, you got an A, that's because you worked really hard.
Yes,
you were committed to your studies and you were good for you. That's consistent with the growth mindset, that intelligence actually can change and the performance can change. And what she shows is that if children hear those types of messages at a younger age, they're much more likely to also adopt a growth mindset.
Fascinating.
Then they're more likely to even take on challenging tasks. And then when they have the challenges within the challenging task, they're more likely to persist through them. And so she gave them studies I liked were sort of, she gives the children sort of paradoxical, conflicting kind of problems to figure out, and just to see how long are they going to persist. And the growth mindset children always persist like 5 times as long as the fixed mindset children. So this is real stuff, and it's very well validated.
This is fascinating to me, John, because I love the example you use, because I catch myself in the moment in situations like you've just shared with congratulating our children on something they've done. And I have framed it in my head around the words of unconditional. Let me explain. If I feel like I tell you that I'm proud of you because you got an A, because you got the A, in my head, what I'm saying to you is that I've placed conditions on my love to you because you got an A. Right, because it's a whole issue of me growing up. I've spent thousands of mom and dad, thousands of dollars in psychology, having to resort that out in my head because mom and dad wanted Keith to be the lawyer or be the doctor, not be the gas pump guy. He went off to be an entrepreneur and sold his company, did okay for himself. But it was always like, I had to do this to get appraisal, right, or to get the conditional love, right. So when Carter or Piper does something, I'm always aware of. And I'm fucking so aware of congratulating them for how they achieved it instead of what they achieved. Right. So, hey, Brooks, I saw the work you put in Monday to Friday to get the results you got today on Friday at your test. You see what I'm saying, John? But I likened it not to the growth mindset. I was taught just about, because I don't want you as my child or as my friend hearing me only giving you responses based on a condition. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. And that's entirely consistent with the what you're talking about. The fixed mindset individual is actually seeking feedback for affirmation, to make sure that they're
doing the right thing.
They're doing the right thing. And then if they don't get the feedback they want, they often become defensive, right? So negative feedback and even positive feedback are treated very differently in the fixed mindset. But positive and negative feedback for the growth mindset is associated with acceptance of the feedback for the purpose of improving performance. It's not to get affirmation. So how can I got this performance and maybe it was on a 0 to 10 scale. It was a 6. They want to know from the feedback, well, how can I make it a 10? How can I get it to a 10? So it's very different way, but it leads to a lot of different, down the road or downstream effects and very different approaches. I'm waiting for someone to do this with leadership to sort of take, well, what messages did children hear, growing up, and then, what kind of leaders did they become?
Speaking of children, and I say this every Friday we get together, I feel like you and I can just bullshit for hours on end, actually. And I know for a fact everybody would be entertained because we have great conversation here. Oh, by the way, Good Times asked me a question. Are you ready for this one? Charlie says, John, where's your Rays hat? Or is that too soon?
That's the only, I do not like until when they switch back to the Devil Rays, I'll get a hat. But until then, I'm not getting a Rays hat.
And then you got
Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
You got Mike Global saying, because Pittsburgh's going to win the World Series next year. I love it. And Global, I appreciate a good time. I appreciate it. What I appreciate about Keith is he built this. He could have went the easy way. I appreciate that. Much respect. Hey, speaking of children, I'd like to hear I'm going to throw my opinion out here and you don't have to throw yours out. But Australia today has enforced if you're under 16, you cannot be on social media. They're banning. So I think I'll offer first. I think it's bullshit. I'll tell you why. So I understand. I understand the reasonings why. Let me just put that up first. Like it's like I don't want kids smoking, so I'm going to put that on there. But Petro, I feel like it's the same way you and I grew up, which was putting stickers on fucking CDs saying, okay, you shouldn't listen to the Ozzy Osbourne album because it's going to encourage you to kill yourself. Like, I know there's no easy switch on what social does, but this banning it, I think it's BS, man. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can, I would imagine that it's, that like a lot of things, it's probably sort of automatic reaction, sort of gut check reaction to the probably one of the biggest scapegoats for anything bad, right, is social media. Like right next to AI, right?
Yes.
But,
Yeah, good point.
But I guess I would be with the Australians if and only if they're showing that through maybe a longitudinal study. I want to talk about like short-term and long-term negative and positive effects. So usually when you do these types of studies, you look for, well, here's the evidence of the negative effects that we expected. So that could possibly be there, but if you're not open to positive effects, you see this kind of thing years ago with Head Start programs. This started like in the 1990s. Like
I remember,
get kids to read. Even at 2 weeks of age, it's like, read to them even in the womb, right? And then it was shown a lot of that was bullshit. That children can recognize, once they're out of the womb, they can recognize, they'll turn their heads towards different sounds that they recognize, and so they have recognition of voice, but they're not understanding anything, well past 2, right? So the reading, the Head Start reading kind of craze, never actually showed that, well, this leads to children enjoying reading even, at 6 and 7 and into their teens. And then, that was never actually shown. So I was very skeptical about that from the beginning because I was a late 2 reader, and I love reading now. But I think if it was shoved.
Yes, we know. Hey, good time. Yes, we know he likes to read only half the books.
Yeah, if it was shoved in my face since age 2 and 3, I think I don't know. It might be something that I don't like so much, or I would have had to discover some more intrinsic motivation. So I don't know. I would I'd go back to the evidences. You have longitudinal. I'm not talking about just show me associations with maybe I imagine maybe they got data that suggests that 16-year-olds drop out of high school more frequently if they're engaged with social media. Maybe I'm just making that up as
I know.
Right? So hypothetically, we would also want to see what are some potential positive effects of exposure to social media, and then again long term. So I know there are some studies out there suggesting that there that social skills proficiency is affected by spending hours and hours on social media. But I want to see something that's long term. Show me 10, 20 years down the road this effect of being exposed before and after 16. So
every country on the planet, we both know, is clearly watching what's happening and unfolding in Australia to see how they're going to roll it out in their own countries. Hey, before I let you go quickly, we have not had a chance to speak since last weekend's World Series finale, mister. We didn't even text throughout the week. I purposely, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to talk to you on text. I was waiting for today. And I got to be, hey, good time. I was wondering what he was going to wear to the show today. What hat, what garb you were going to wear. But I would love to hear. And holy smokes, was it ever a highly watched World Series, man? There was a third of the country here watched it in Canada. And was 50 million people in the U.S. That's a massively watched World Series, man.
Yeah, big time. I mean, hey, I remember when the Dodgers played the Houston Astros in the World Series, that thing was back and forth. And I saw so many, lead changes and anything could happen, especially in the ninth inning. But yeah, the last 2 games, not just the last one, I just was disgusted over, the ball getting stuck in the wall and no.
Did you really try that again? So they tried that again the next. So I guess Fox did some, they tried to reenact that whole experience in Skydome, and I guess I'll make an exaggerative point, but through the million times they tried to, create that exact experience of the ball getting stuck in that one. And I guess the outfielder, what the hell's his name out there? The outfielder who plays there all the time is that has never. He goes, there's one spot in the whole stadium, one spot where that can happen, and it actually ended up the velocity, the angle, and it ended up there.
But I feel, hey, that's part of the environment. You're not obligated. You have the ball is not obligated to bounce off of the wall for you. You know what I mean? It's anyway. Yeah, and that ninth inning. Well, hey, it reminded me of the 1991 and 92 Pirates. They missed going to the World Series after losing one of their former players, Sid Bream, was with the Atlanta Braves, and he scored the winning run, and it was such heartbreaking. So that's about as bad as it can get. But yeah, and I'm not even really a Toronto Blue Jays fan. I just didn't want the Dodgers to win, and that was really disappointing. I just I felt crushed, and I didn't sleep well that night. So
I will say this though, I have not spent much time watching ball in the last number of years. I will say though that kudos to MLB for some of the rule changes they've made, because I will tell you that I found it quite entertaining with the sped up ball clock and these subtle rule changes. I thoroughly, I got to be honest, I thoroughly enjoy. I found it entertaining. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and there was some entertaining ball being played for sure.
Yeah, it keeps the game moving, and I would love to see them implement another one too, instead of the walks,
intentionals.
Intentional walks are getting out of control. And so you could take an Aaron Judge home run hitter pretty much out of the game if you intentionally walk them every time, right? Yep. So I think after the first intentional walk, if they do another intentional walk, or any walk, actually. The second walk, you should get second base. Your third walk, you should get third base. You know,
interesting. Global, I agree with you, man. Camera work was exceptional. And hey, one last, you know, the topic we need to throw on the table for future conversations is this idea of load management. It's happening more and more in pro sports, and fans are getting shortchanged because Keith and Petro are going to a big game, and all of a sudden we get there and the stars aren't playing, and it makes you wonder if we're moving to a world where, you know, seasons are getting longer, where you're almost going to have, like, I don't want to say two teams, but almost like a primary squad and a secondary squad to load manage. Like even the NHL is talking about load management now. I'm like, oh, fuck, right? And the NBA, half of the NBA is load managed, and you never know if you're going to see LeBron or Joe Schmuckarelli.
Yeah, that happened in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
The their first game of the season, I don't know, maybe Baltimore or something. And then when they came back to Pittsburgh for the home opener, Paul Skeens was not the starting pitcher, and the whole city went nuts. They were so mad that Paul Skeens was not pitching the Pirates home opener. So I guess he was due maybe 2 days later. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's as much as you pay for tickets today too. You want to see see your favorite players, and if they're not there, it is a big disappointment.
Yeah, I see a good time. Yes, NASCAR did have their champs this past weekend. Kyle Larson won, right? So they did their thing. All right, listen, I'm getting tapped on the shoulder by the producers saying that you and John keep talking. I know, because I love talking with John. Thank you very much, Melissa and Jimmy. So final word to you, brother. Any final comment before we say goodbye till next Friday?
No, but I guess the last thing I wanted just to add another thing with that Coke commercial.
Yes,
we put on the agenda at some point just the tendency to complain and point fingers at the next scapegoat. You know, you had put out there already a couple of times with AI is going to be the next, you know, problem child for everything. Right?
We're all looking to blame somebody. We all got to find something to blame.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And there's things that go on. Like, I mean, there used to be 100 miles of trees, okay, from Charlotte to Charleston on Interstate 26, okay, in the middle, the divider, okay, there was like 100 miles of trees. They removed all of them.
What?
Okay, yeah, they removed all of them about 6 or 7 years ago. And the reason for that is people were goofing around on their cell phones, you know, the smartphones, and crashing into those trees. And that's why they removed all of those trees. But the trees, the trees should still be there, right? But it's like, well, we had too many crashes into these trees. Remove them all. You know, if somebody drives into a pond, you know, on a golf course, you know, and drowns, they're like, well, we got to drain all of these ponds, right? Well, it's the same sort of reaction that you get, I think, maybe with even social media and AI.
Everything's extreme, man.
You could have a whole week on the scapegoating AI and social media.
I agree.
To blame for everything. All of the world's problems probably go right back to that, right?
All right. Well, listen. What are you doing today? Quickly, what do you got on your agenda today?
Oh, nothing special today, but I do think we're going to make it to that Crowder Mountain trip this weekend.
Nicely done. Well, be safe.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my run this morning because I had a good sleep last night, so I had a good run here today. I even though I strongly disliked it the whole time, but I still did it, and I feel good that I accomplished it. So
excellent. Well, hey, keep plugging away with the show. Loving it.
I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you so much. All right, take care of yourself. Okay, we'll see you soon.
All right, you too.
Right.
Thanks, man.
All right, John Petrocelli's out of here, guys. The doctor of bullshit, Dr. John Petrocelli. Go connect with him on LinkedIn. Seriously, go find him, go connect with him, go engage them, go hire him. Lots of love. I personally have lots of love for that man. Yep, true story. And I'm not afraid to put it out there publicly. Good time. I appreciate you too, man. Global, all of you guys. You guys are awesome. Okay, well then listen, let's do it. Maya, let's do a version of the community corner today. Maya Reyes, what's shaking out there in the community?
Mornings can hit hard. Cortisol screams. And in that moment, choose panic or power. Welcome back to the Community Corner Nation, where we connect YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack on Mornings in the Lab. Today, we've got a personal alignment hour that turns chaos into control. And a first ever ultramarathon story that proves your ceiling is a self-made construct. Disclaimer, no guarantees that the handsome chief will stick to the script.
All right, guys, what a great conversation with Dr. John Petrocelli. Hey, YouTube, why do you feel anxious in the morning? I can tell you why. It's the cortisol trap. Tim Box, mind coach, remedial hypnotist, explains why many of us wake up with heightened anxiety. Fuck, it happens to me. He calls it the morning cortisol trap. Your body has natural cortisol, just awakening response. It's meant to energize you, but if you're anxious, your body mistakes it for danger. Poor sleep amplifies the spike, creates this vicious cycle. Ah, yes. That anxiety causes those late nights. Those less sleep heightens cortisol. The mornings feel worse. True story. The key isn't suppressing anxiety, it's understanding and reframing it as a normal biological response, not a threat. So how do you break the cycle? Box says this: reframe it. Tell yourself this is energy and danger. I do it all the time. As I go for my walk and my runs, I walk myself towards gratitude, working myself out of the anxiety. He also talks about getting daylight early. We know those natural light regulates the body. Move, 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 move. Light activity or stretching uses up cortisol productivity. So, guys, how often do you wake up feeling anxious? And what's your first thought when you do? What I do is lean into gratitude, and I find it works extremely well for me. All right, moving over to Substack. Those morning routines are a great code for life. Sam Williams says your first hour sets the emotional, physical, and mental tone for the rest of the day. The guy battled digital distractions. He shifted to a structured morning routine, his personal alignment hour, transforming focus, motivation, and sense of agency. What's the concept? Well, devote the first 60 to 90 minutes to practices that make you strong. Movement, meditation, journaling, hydration, all the things we talk about every single day here in the lab. Designed for consistency, make your morning ritual realistic. Better yet, start it the night before with a dedicated bedtime. And guys, write it down step by step. Be specific. Because those small actions, guys, they're going to compound over time with the benefits. I tell you right now, you are not going to see them instantly. With long time compounding, it's going to change your life. True motherfucking story. So, in a world engineered to distract you, oh, hold on, there's a squirrel over. Sorry. Taking ownership of your morning focus, that fucking squirrel over there, is an act of self-mastery. So guys, here's the question for you. What would your personal alignment hour look like if you designed it today? Do you ask yourself, what's my hour look like? All right, we're pivoting over to LinkedIn. You, according to Mitch Whitling, are more capable than you believe. I know. I go after it every day. Doing this for 2 years now. A mindset coach ran his first ultra marathon 2 weeks ago, 41 miles. Previous record, 23. Expectation, 34. Boom, boom, Mitch. He passed them both. Here's the thing. Facing and conquering tough terrain changed Mitch's perspective. Challenges that once seemed daunting, like the steep hill near his home, now seems like it's just a small little thing. Here's the thing, guys. I was kind of talking about a little bit here on the show. Pushing yourselves to do hard things reveals a version of you that rises to challenges with confidence. Yeah, I can relate to that. It reshapes your beliefs of what's possible. I can relate to that. That persistence, well, it doesn't change the difficulty of a task, but increases your power to handle it. So nation, here's the question.
What's the hardest thing you've been avoiding right now that could completely reshape your sense of what's possible? What is it? I know there's something. There's that big, hairy, audacious goal that you're looking for. Maya, what about you? Let's walk us out of here.
Name the anxiety, own the hour, and prove yourself wrong with one honest win. That is how you turn panic into power and limits into targets. And remember, tag us in your next post if you want your story featured on The Big Show. Have you ever had a conversation that changed how you see yourself?
Those rare moments when insight cuts through the noise and something shifts inside.
Not just what you think,
But who you are. For 3 years, one creator has chased those moments relentlessly.
he sat with Stephen Pressfield exploring resistance. He dove into regret with Daniel Pink. He's examined heroic leadership with psychologists and elite performers.
50 conversations deep, he's built something rare. A space where ideas transform lives.
Mornings in the Lab is excited to celebrate Adam Morrissey, host of Tuesdays with Morrissey. He shares insights from great thinkers on leadership, meaning, and purpose. If you're hungry for more conversations like we have in the lab that make you think differently and act boldly, Adam is a must follow.
Love about the best conversations. Oh, baby, where's my buttons here for my sounds in my ears? Let's go in there. Here we go. You know what I love about the best conversations? They don't just fill the silence. No, they crack you open. Think about that. They make you question what you thought you knew about not only yourself, but the world. And Adam Morrissey, who we are celebrating today in the Creator Spotlight, he absolutely gets this. For 3 years, he's been showing up every other week. Really? Just every other week, Neiman? You couldn't find somebody who shows up every week? What the fuck, man? What kind of celebration is this? The guy shows up half the time. Nation, we're celebrating somebody who shows up half the time. Honest to God, 50% of his fucking life, the guy's not even showing up. So I'm not sure if I can continue with this segment, actually, because it goes against all of my values. Yeah. Well, but I guess to Neiman's point, though, he is consistent. All right, we'll get on with it. So he consistently shows up half the time. Morrissey, we got to talk, man. Morrissey, I got to get you onto the show to understand why you don't show up all of the time. Neiman, just think for 3 years, if he would have been showing up for all the time instead of half the time, just think about how much further he would have gone. I'm just calling it out, Adam. Just calling it out. Petro, I know you agree. I know you absolutely agree. So, actually, Neiman, this guy might actually link up with Petro because Petro only reads half the books. So between Adam Morrissey and Dr. John Petrocelli, they can only show up half the time, read half the books, and have success. Hey, Charlie, we just got our solution, man. There's a whole fucking show right there. Adam and Petro, half time. Yeah. How to be successful in life, half time, with Adam Morrissey and Dr. John Petrocelli live on Mornings in the Lab. We got Petro in the comments, 100%. Sorry, guys. Oh my God, deep dive. Adam's not trying. Here we go. Fuck it. Adam, we're having some fun with you, man. This is called Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. We celebrate awesome creators out there who are doing great shit, and we think you're doing great shit. I'm totally off script right now. So because you only do half shit, we'd love to have you here for half of the show. So on Fridays, Petro comes to the show for half of the time. And Bjorn's into it too. So Adam and John Petrocelli, the halftime segment coming up on Mornings in the Lab, and they're each going to speak for half the time so that we can achieve full results. Hey, Bjorn, the introvert, just laughing in his own head. I'm just laughing down here by myself. Adam, we'd love to have you on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. All right, guys. Man, we've gone way over time here today. Oh, man. All right. I'm getting to the outro, Melissa. Yes, I'm getting to the outro. Guys, we got a big week next week. Oh, my goodness, we got a big week next week. I guess every single day, I believe. Yep, I believe we do. I'm just pulling up my notes right here. Yeah, 2 guys, half energy equals full success, according to Bjorn. Johnny's laughing as well with me, man. I love you guys. This is great. Hey, what another awesome week, guys. We stacked triple threat today. Cleaner, grooming, happier. Well, we didn't talk about that. We talked shower thoughts with Johnny. We had Bjorn Hagemann in the lab today dropping nuggets about the power of quiet leadership. Love that. Petro joined us as well. We chewed the fat on our Dunbar topics. Hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Hey, mark your calendars, man. Friday's here around the 8:45 mark. John joins me to hang out and shoot the shit, which is always fun. Thoroughly enjoying that segment. If you're new here and you've been lurking, I appreciate you. I say it all the time. You guys have a choice where you can spend your time. And to those of you that choose to spend your time with me, Jimmy, Melissa, Johnny, Marty, Petro, fully grateful, man. And for hanging out with myself and Bjorn today, fully grateful. Because you could choose to go elsewhere, but you choose to spend your time with this ridiculous schmuck, the handsome chief himself. That's me, Keith Bellis. Hey, guys, hit like, subscribe, say hi in the comments. Tell your friends about the Mornings in the Lab Network. 7:30 Eastern time to get started with Matt Roof. Next week, guys, we got a bunch of stuff, man. Hybrid training. How much protein do you actually need? John's going to have something to say about that. Office to outdoors. Let's get after it, guys. Melissa, Jimmy, guess what? There's nothing to do tomorrow. No. Everything restarts in 48 hours or 7, whatever the fuck it is, 72 hours, whatever it is. Guys, we'll see you guys 8 a.m. Eastern time, live, right here on YouTube. Yep, true story. And you guys can stay connected with me personally out of the show, 431-300-3005. I invite you to do so. I'm being true serious, man. Good Time connects with me. Petro connects with me. Send me a text, guys, 431-300. Let's stay connected over the weekend. You find yourself making dumb shit decisions? You find yourself going down a bad rabbit hole of where you don't want to be? Text me. I'd be happy to help you through a situation that you don't want to be in. True story. You too, Bjorn. All right, guys. My puppy. It's not a puppy anymore. Lola needs to go outside for a shit. True story. I got to get out of here. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend, nation.